Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video with a title called How to Choose a Futsal League, especially here in New Jersey. So, in our attempt to kind of shed a bit of light on how to choose a futsal league, and with all the emails that we get, the number one thing that we recommend is that you visit and you do some research online about how to choose a futsal league. Of course, you shouldn't always believe what's on there, and that's the number one thing. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean that it's true or accurate. So this is our attempt to basically shed some light, should I say, on how to choose a futsal league. Most coaches and most teams choose a league, and their number one concern is the price. And you know the old saying, you pay to get what you pay for, or you get what you pay for. Meaning that pricing should not really be the number one priority, because sometimes the price is very cheap and you really don't get much. Other times the pricing is mid-range and you get somewhat what you're looking for. And other times the price is on the high end, but you get a lot of things, just like everything else in life. Unfortunately, most of us always ask, how much is it? Well, that's not really necessarily a question that you want to ask first, because you don't know the benefits of what that product costs. So if you say, for example, how much is your league? And you have somebody reply that, well, our league is only $400. Then you may go someplace else and you ask the same question, and that league may be $700. Then you may go someplace else and the league might be $1,500. Unless you ask what's included in your league before you ask for the price, you really don't have a fair comparison. A $400 league is not going to compare to a $1,500 league, because I can guarantee you they're not going to give you what a $1,500 league will give you. Obviously, you got to know your budget. So there are leagues out there that promote themselves as futsal leagues, and they're literally around $400. Here's what you get. You'll get a bunch of games with no organization. You don't have a league standings or league sequence or league week to week who you play. You'll probably have young kids that have their first referee outside, soccer referee badge, but not certified futsal referees. Don't forget, the futsal rules are a bit different than the soccer rules. You may not have futsal balls. The duration of those games might only be 20 minutes. Now, let's say you go to it never fails. Every time I try to make a video, the phone always rings. Now, let's say you go to a league that's, in the mid-range, $700-800. They might give you structured Sunday games. So there's a certain amount of teams that are going to play a certain amount of games. It's organized, and you get certified futsal referees as opposed to just generic referees. And then you may go to a $1,500 league. I doubt that they exist right now, but I'm just saying that as an example, where every team might get a jersey to play in. They might get a futsal. They have certified futsal referees. They do more games than your average league. They're all, they give you all the bells and the whistles. So that's what you need to address first. What am I getting? What is your league providing before you ask for the price? Of course, you got to know what your budget is. You can't go and play in a $1,500 league if your budget is only $400. Okay? So in my opinion, that's the number one question. Second, some other criteria that, and we get these questions all the time, is when are your league games played? Well, if you go into our website, by the way, which is Central Jersey Futsal, and for those of you that are maybe new to our website, for those of you who may never heard of futsal or who we are, Central Jersey Futsal has merged in the last 2 years with Mercer Futsal. So the combination of the years that the league has been around, I believe now is 6 years. We have grown quite a bit, and we do have different venues. So we have the Monroe Sports Center, which is in Monroe Township. We have Chapin and Hunt School up in Princeton, and we have Elm School here in Jackson. Now, the league is a U.S. Youth Futsal sanctioned league, meaning that we abide to the FIFA futsal rules. That means that, the rules that are in play in a futsal game, how the ball is being brought into play, how the goalkeepers handle the ball, having futsal balls in play rather than soccer balls, and every other futsal guideline is in play here. Okay, our games in every location, for example, Monroe Sports Center has Sunday games with 2 or 3 Sundays, Saturdays, I believe. Chapin, Hun, and Elm School play their games on Sundays. The way we structure the league basically is that we start the younger ages in the morning hours and the older ages in later in the midday or afternoon hours. If you are playing, or if you want to play, let's say in the Monroe Sports Center facility, most of your games, if not all of your games, will be in that facility, unless it's required to be a crossover game because a team has a conflict or what have you. So we might send you to play a game in Jackson. But we focus, and this is something that I think that has made us very successful, and people look for that, is consistency, that they play in the same venue most of the games, if not all of their games, and also some consistency in the time playing. So, for example, you don't want to play 1 week, 8 o'clock in the morning at Monroe Center, and then play the second week in Princeton at 8 o'clock at night, okay? We want to keep some kind of consistency. So if you are a 12 team, that your games are going to be more or less, within a range of time. Let's say, just give you an example, so hold me to that. Let's say you're going to be playing between 8 and 10 in the morning, or 10 and 12 in the afternoon. And most of your games are going to be in the said facility, like I said, unless there might be a conflict and we may have to, switch the team to another venue just for one game, okay? But you're not going to have ups and downs. You're also going to play all your scheduled games. I know that has been brought to my attention because other leagues, they pay a fee and, they may only play 3 games, 4 games. They don't have games every Sunday. We are a league that has 8 games. So you pay our entrance fee, you're going to get 8 games. You're not going to get 4, you're not going to get 3, you're not going to get 5, you're going to get 8 games consistently, okay? Some of the other questions that arise is, the level of competition. So we basically create our schedule, and I think that's another unique feature that we have in our league that most leagues don't do. It's very difficult on us, and people forget how difficult scheduling is, especially when you host. Last year we hosted 114 teams. So it becomes very difficult when you have to change the schedule on a weekly basis. But we do that to accommodate and keep our clients as happy as possible and keep the level of competition as close as possible. When teams register in our league, there is a questionnaire. Where do you play currently? What division? What league? How many tournaments have you done? How have you fared? What kind of results have you gotten? And then we get an idea more or less where should you be. By the way, we have had over the years top level teams outdoor, okay, that come to play futsal for the first time and they don't do so well. Why? Because again, futsal requires a little bit different tactical play. The goalkeeping is a bit different than outdoors. That's another mistake that a lot of teams do. They register with no goalkeepers, or the goalkeepers that they have very little experience in the futsal environment. So those, higher level teams, they don't fare as good with a team that maybe has played futsal multiple years, but may not be at the highest level outdoors. All these things that need to be considered, which unfortunately most coaches don't. Okay, so what we do is, we start the league play, we schedule the teams originally as best as we can, and then as the league progresses, especially the first 3 to 4 weeks, we make adjustments. Some parents ask us, well, when is the rest of the schedule going to be released? We try not to release a schedule all at once, specifically for that purpose. And most people seem to, like it and appreciate it. So week to week, we'll make adjustments to possibly try to pair the teams as close to their level as possible. Again, that doesn't mean that there's no lopsided scores, just like any other league. And there's a lot of reasons for that, where it's not just bad scheduling, it's the fact that a goalkeeper might be missing that day, or the team doesn't have a goalkeeper. The team is a very good team, but they don't have a goalkeeper. So every shot, or practically every shot, winds up in the back of the net. It's not because the scheduling or the pairing wasn't good. It's because that team goalkeeper was not there that day, or they don't have a goalkeeper. Nothing we could do about that. There's always going to be lopsided scores. The mission of the league, again, is another criteria that the coaches should look for. What is this league about? Well, chances are the $400 league is going to be pretty much just a fun league, recreation league. Usually they're not going to keep scores, standings, or anything like that. They come and they play. Okay, just have fun. A mediocre priced, league would probably have multiple divisions. Maybe a division that is just for fun and play, and a division that's a little bit more competitive. So these are the things that a coach needs to look at. Hey, do you have different divisions? Are you trying to make the best pairings? My team is brand new. We don't know how to play futsal, but we really have watched the progress of futsal, and we really wanted to engage in the games. And this is going to be our first season playing futsal. So are we going to have other teams that are in the same situation as us, or are we just going to be playing very high level futsal teams? So these are all the questions that a futsal or soccer coach should address before making a decision, basically just on pricing. Another big mistake that most coaches make is, well, how many teams do you have in the league right now? So, and it happens every year in every league across the country, including ours. We open up registration, and our league opens up registration fairly early in the season. And therefore, that's probably one of the reasons why we drove quite a few teams. So when the registration is only a week or two old, and let me give you a scenario so you guys can understand this. We open up registration in late October. Nobody even is thinking about futsal in New Jersey in late October. Guaranteed. They're still in full outside soccer mode. High school, all kinds of stuff. The last thing they're thinking about is futsal. However, we are trying to bring awareness. Hey, just because you're playing soccer, you should start thinking about your winter training, and particular futsal. So although our registration opens up in October, we have emails that go out literally every week reminding everybody about futsal and registering and all kinds of other information that we pass them. So when November comes around, or middle of November to the end of November, and believe it or not, a lot of leagues don't open up registration until the end of November. We already have 40, 50 teams in the league, where others are just beginning to get started. The question of how many teams do you have, especially when the registration just opened up, is not a fair one, because again, you don't know when the teams are going to register. Don't worry about how many teams are going to be in your bracket. Just register and ask, hey, if I register now and there's not enough teams in my group, do I have the option of getting a refund? It's very simple. A league has a very difficult time trying to schedule and pair games when everybody asks, well, how many teams do you have in your league? I'm not going to sign up until I know. If everybody had the same approach, then no teams would sign up for that particular league. So my advice is, and again, ask these questions, and I will let you know that our league is not here to take anybody's money and put a team at risk of not playing. Our league is here to benefit the end consumer, which ultimately is not the parents or the coaches. It is the futsal player, the soccer player. So if we go now and open up registration and we'll go towards, the December period and there is no teams under your division, we'll let you know. And if you wish to wait, that's great. If not, then you can go into another league and we'll refund you your money. By the way, the majority of the registrations happen in December, okay? The majority of the registrations happen in December. After Thanksgiving is over and most of the outdoor activity is done, okay, including winter showcases and, most of those are done. I mean, they might, towards the end of November, you have winter showcases, maybe a couple and some to the beginning of December, but mostly soccer is done. When, Thanksgiving is past and Black Friday and Cyber Monday, all those things are done, that's when everybody wakes up and is like, oh, I got to make arrangements for January, which we're playing, a month from now. So in December, believe me, the majority of registrations happen. Every year, we get calls after the registration over, even when the games already have started, from teams that missed the boat. And we have actually tried to accommodate those teams because we do understand, again, it's about the players and they want to play. So we have allowed, last year we had 2 teams that we allowed to come in and play in our league after the first week of the league had started. How did we fix that? By the way, we didn't tell them, sorry, you're only going to get 7 games. We actually accommodated them and we gave them 8 games. What we did is we actually scheduled them to play 1 day, 2 games, okay, just to make up for it. But we were very, happy to help them out. And we understand it happens, the time goes by, and, there's life that goes on a daily basis. So we do understand that happens. So I don't recommend that you do it. It's very difficult for us. I mean, it's a scheduling nightmare, but we're happy to oblige everybody. So once again, these are the questions that most people should ask for. Price should be the last thing that you guys ask for. Fortunately, human nature dictates that pricing is usually the first thing that you ask. If that's the case, then ask, what am I getting for that money? Because as I said before, the $400 league is going to give you a lot less than a $700 league or a $1,000 league or a $1,200 league or what have you. So please do ask. Our mission is basically to promote the game of futsal. We are strong believers, and we've been doing this now. We've been training soccer players in the futsal environment for the last 10 years when nobody even knew what futsal was all about. It's been a difficult road, but I'm telling you, the last 3 years, futsal is exploding. This year alone, the interest in futsal is tremendous. With the increase of the game, there are pitfalls as well. And just like, everything else in life, everybody will want to jump in the game strictly because of money. So you will see 1,000,001 futsal leagues come up because they want your money. It's all about your money, right? You also see futsal leagues that are popping up from quote-unquote paid organizations. So you might have XYZ Academy that, they're starting their own futsal league. So why is that? Why do they want to do that? Well, you figure if a paid academy or a paid organization has 40, 50 teams, instead of going to a futsal league, they create their own quote-unquote league. Okay? Don't know what kind of league they're going to create, but they create their own league. And now the money that they usually give to the league, well, it stays in-house and it's more profit for them. Furthermore, they advertise it to, other teams, which is fine. However, what happens usually is that the outside teams that enter into that particular league, they wind up playing those academy teams every week. And if it happens to be a high-level academy, well, guess what? It may not be a good fit for you. As opposed to a regular futsal league that has no ties to academies, and then you have different clubs. We have participants from first time coming to the futsal league and playing, and we'll match them up at that level competition, all the way to this year to ECNL teams for match fit. And that's a very, very good, accomplishment for our team. I would suggest that you guys do due diligence. Don't just, jump in because, XYZ recommended. In my opinion, I think I gave you what's the most important criteria to choose a futsal league. Once again, if you go into our website, centraljerseyfutsal.com, all the information is all on there. You will see testimonials from coaches that have participated in the league. Reach out to anyone that you wish. We'll be more than happy to give you references from all the coaches that play in our league and their teams if you would like to reach out to them. That's how flexible we are. We are here to make sure that, number one, your players have a great positive experience. Number two, the coaches don't have to shuttle all over different venues. We also have what's called a preferred placement for the coaches that have multiple teams. That means that if you have multiple teams, you come in, you'll play one game on, either back-to-back games or one game on, one game off, one game on. So you'll be in and out in a time frame of 2-3 hours. You'll be in and out with your multiple teams are done. You're not going to have to come, in the morning for one of your teams, in the afternoon for your other, or late night for your other team. Provided, and this is key, if you have a U8 team and you have a U17 team, it's impossible to play next to each other or one on one off because the difference is way too far apart. Those age brackets. Usually, the younger ones play in the morning, and if you have a 17-year-old team, you're going to be playing later in the afternoon. There's no way we can blend those. However, if you have 8s and 9s or 9s and 10s or 8s and 10s, and it's doable. It's a lot easier to do that way. So that's another service we offer. For any other questions, feel free to contact us. Again, centraljerseyfutsal.com is the website. info@centraljerseyfutsal.com is our email. Our phone number is 732-580-2174. I hope I've answered your questions. Feel free to contact, and I look forward to seeing you on a futsal court. Have a good one.